Hello again. Today we're going to be looking at my Deathwatch, as the title says. These are not the only Deathwatch force I have, but the other Deathwatch force is made out of the official Deathwatch models, and these are my custom-made Deathwatch models. So this will probably be titled something like, oh, Custom Deathwatch Showcase. So we'll get straight into it with this Skullbearer. I'm going to say which chapter each Marine is from as I go through. So this is a Skullbearer, which is, yeah, that's their icon. Google them if you want to know their lore, although there isn't much, because most chapters don't actually have that much lore, sadly, because GW focuses too much on Ultramarines, and really just the core 9 originals. And even then, they don't focus on some of them that much. But anyway, so this guy is quite a fun one. He was made with Khorne Berserker legs, but then the rest of him is just kind of regular... and a Khorne Berserker torso. But the rest of him is just regular Loyalist parts. And the shoulder pads are a custom 3D print, as are the guns, which are from, I believe, Red Warden miniatures on Cults, although I'm not sure about that. I would have to actively go and check. But yeah, I made these like last year, because I wanted some... Deathwatch for 4th edition, because my modern Deathwatch don't really fit the 4th edition rules for Deathwatch. Here is a... I need to remember the name of this one, give me a sec. Angels Vermilion, I believe? Yeah, Angels Vermilion. I have tabs open with the names of the chapters, because some of these are ones that I forget the names of. So yeah, this guy's an Angels Vermilion. I used a Blood Angel's head, and he's got, like, these... hodgepodged together legs. So this is a Mark 6 leg from a Khorne Berserker, but then the rest of the leg, legs is Mark 3, and then he's got like a Catachan knife and the same sort of style of bolt gun as the other guy, because all of the bolt guns, which we're doing the bolt guns first, all of the bolt guns Marines have the same style of bolter, because I just like this particular style, although they have like a few variations in the design of that style, but it's all like the old Sternguard style of bolt gun. It's got like an orc skull. Just a nice fun bit of detail. Oh, and then a lot of them do have tilt shields, but I didn't really do much with them other than like this, but one of them has got a nice one, which I'll go through when I get to them. Next up, we have an Angels Redeemed, which was the funniest excuse to use the Dark Angels logo. Angels Redeemed, again, I'm not going to go into the lore of these chapters because I don't want to, but basically the Angels Redeemed are literally just orange Dark Angels. The temptation to paint my entire Dark Angels army in this orange color was there, but I realized I would probably want to kill myself if I did it, so I didn't. This guy uses the kneeling pose from the Devastators kit as the base of him, and then I sculpted this tapestry in the middle there a while back, before this guy was ever a Deathwatch Marine, because most of these models were never meant to be Deathwatch, and I just made them Deathwatch after I realized that they couldn't really fit into any of my other Space Marine armies aesthetically. Next up, we have a Meta Marine. This guy used to be in my Brazen Claws army, back when my Brazen Claws army was still Brazen Claws and not painted up as like a bunch of different chapters, because I split it all up and threw it all into other armies, because I didn't like the paint job, and I knew I could do better. So this guy used to be part of my Brazen Claws, and yeah, he's a Meta Marine. This was an absolute bitch to do. I had to layer a bunch of transfers on top of each other, and it's probably still too small to look correct, but I like it. It was a simple... Like, the actual shoulder pad was an absolute bitch, but the rest of him, much like the rest of these models, was quite comfortable and simple to do. He's mostly made up of just Mark 7 regular parts from the standard Tactical Marine kit, although he has got a Sternguard torso, if memory serves, with like the Mark 8 so armor paneling on the bottom there. Next up, we have a Son of the Khan Space Marine. This was an interesting icon to have to make. I had to source, I have an extensive collection of transfers. So this is a Lunar Wolves, like, campaign badge from the Heresy transfers, and then that's a Space Wolves rune from the Space Wolves transfers, but it is literally the exact replication of the Sons of the Khan iconography. And then I gave him a cool, like, Necron head that I painted all gold and gave a nice little shiny bit on. He's got some bits from the Horus Heresy kits, and he's mostly made of a Mark III Marine. It's probably hard to see these guys. I will color correct it in post to look a bit easier. Next up we have a Storm Giant. Now this guy's legs are another hodgepodge. In fact, I'm fairly certain that the hodgepodge of this guy's legs are the leftovers of the hodgepodge of this guy's legs, so that's fun. But he's a Storm Giant, and then he's got a Devastator head. But not much really else is different. He's got a Mark V torso with some extra plates added from Terminator kits, because I wanted him to look extra veteran-y. Next up we have a Rainbow Warrior. I wanted to do a Rainbow Warrior. They're always fun. So I hand-painted the Rainbow Warriors icon. It's a little off-center, but it's better than it being shit. That was a nightmare to paint. But yeah, I liked doing this guy. He's mostly made on a Mark III body, because I had a lot of Mark III models left over from a project I did a while ago where I did some Sons of Medusa. Because I was doing lots of Bad Ab War stuff, and the way I do Bad Ab War themed Marines is I mash a bunch of different kits together to make the armor marks look all salvaged and smashed together. So yeah, this is a Rainbow Warrior. Next up we have an Invader. This was a fun one to do. I had to get a star off of my World War II transfer sheets for Bolt Action, and then I got a tiny little skull from a Blood Angels transfer sheet, and I washed it with a bit of contrast paint to change the color of it before applying it to make it stand out properly against the thing. Again, this is another one that's mostly based on a Mark III Marine. A lot of Mark III bodies, the reason being is because Mark III Marines don't tend to fit in a lot of the forces I've made over the past few years. So I kind of just sort of threw together Mark III bodies and use them for Deathwatch stuff, which kind of fits, because the idea of these guys, just bulkier armor going into things. He's got these Mark V heads, which are 3D prints from another kit a while back that I used in my Horus Heresy army, which one day I'll show that off. It will be much later down the line because of the fact that it is one hell of a bitch of an army. Next up we're going to do this Raptor with a plasma gun, because I'm out of bolters now. It's now onto all the special weapons and squad sergeants. So this Raptor with a bolt gun, not bolt gun, plasma gun. He's got a Firehawk's tilt shield, because he's a veteran of the Bad Ab War kind of idea. But he's mostly made out of a thing, of a regular Mark VII Marine, but he has got this backpack from the old Marines from 2nd edition, because I have like a bunch of those backpacks in my bits box for some fucking reason. I don't even have any of the old Mark II, not Mark II, the old 2nd edition Marines. I have like one or two of them hanging around that are like character models, but I don't actually have any in large numbers, and I just have a load of the backpacks for them, so I use them on all sorts of stuff. Kind of gives a nice variety in the armor designs. He's got a Tau head, because the Raptors fought in the Tau Ross campaign, and I thought that'd be kind of funny. Next up we have a Red Wolf. Not much done to this guy. He's got Mark IV legs from the standard Mark VII kit, because they decided to include a pair of Mark IV legs in that kit. He's mostly made of Mark VII parts, but then he's got a head from the Space Wolves, like grey, like standard infantry kit. And I did this icon. Now this icon was a bitch, because it decided to try and disintegrate as I was trying to place it, which was annoying, because the transfer sheet was ancient, and it did not like me trying to use it. But yeah, nice Red Wolf with a plasma gun. I don't know how Space Wolves feel about plasma guns, but I imagine they don't really like them. So this one's a Doom Legion, which is one of the many Space Marine chapters whose icon is just a skull. The Doom Legion guy, he's got Melter Gun, because I figured it fit with the aesthetics of the Doom Legion. They're kind of very much all about making sure everything dies. Which, I mean, all Space Marine chapters are about that, but they're kind of a little extra about it. You know, they might even give Necron Destroyers a bit of a run for their money, I'd imagine. Well, probably not, but, you know, sort of thing. So yeah, there's not really much to talk about with these, because black armor is... You have one of two fields on black armor in painting, which is that black armor is either the worst fucking thing ever to paint, or it's really easy to paint but never looks good. and I have tried to strike a balance between the two. Although I've learned a new method for painting black as of the current day, which I prefer to use, and it looks a lot better than just flat black like on what these guys have. This guy is a Crimson Castellan. I took the little tower in the background is a transfer from the Imperial Fists transfer sheet for Horus Heresy. And then the skull is another one from the Blood Angels decal sheet. Sorry, I was having a moment there. Anyway, he's got a plasma pistol and a combi plasma bolter, because very cool. This is actually the combi plasma from the Warhammer World exclusive Land Raider and Rhino set, the command ones, which are on my shelf and are still waiting to be painted. I say waiting to be painted. They've been painted 4 times. They're waiting for me to actually fucking paint them in a way I like. Next up is a heavy bolter Space Marine. He is from the Knights of the Raven, I believe. Let me just make sure of that. Yes, Knights of the Raven, which is just silver Raven Guard. I don't know how you can be stealthy and still be bright silver, but I'm sure they have figured it out. Yeah, just a very sort of standard Devastator pose, tapestry sculpted, because again, he was from a squad that was built before this army was, well, before these Deathwatch models were even an idea to use all these extra bodies for. Next up, we have a Death Knight. This one was fun to paint, the Death Knights. I was originally going to do an army of these a while back, but then because I have loads of these transfers, the skulls and the Templar crosses, so I thought, I could do some Death Knights. But then I kind of decided I've already done 2 green armies, I don't really need to do another one, so I figured I'd set aside 1 transfer and do 1 as a Deathwatch Marine. So this is one of the sergeants, just a chainsword. He's got Imperator covered in blood on both of his chainsword sides. Just a kind of a nice, simple sergeant bolt pistol chainsword combo kind of thing, because that's the stock. And then this guy is from the Raven's Watch chapter. Plasma pistol power axe, because I had them and they look cool. And I kind of wish I'd gone a bit paler on the face, considering this is a Raven Guard successor and they tend to be very albino almost, if not completely albino in most cases. But I don't know, I'm okay at painting faces. Did a little crow head on there. Painted the crow head on here because I didn't have a transfer. That was a pain. The ones where I had to paint them were a bit of a pain, but the idea was to use up transfers for chapters that I'm either never going to paint more than 1 of, or sort of paint icons that I can paint. And I thought, you know what, the little Raven's Watch icon's not too bad, and I like the color scheme, it's nice. I'm definitely going to be using this gold on my Red Hunters that I'm working on at the moment, which is part of this month's, hopefully this month's progress, will be my Red Hunters finished. They're only a small army, but I want to get them done. Anyway, so that's all the Deathwatch. There's only 15 models, because that was what, they were kind of a little bits box project. Now I'm just going to talk for a minute about sort of what I'm working on. Sadly, this will be the only video this week because I had a busy week, as I said at the start of the video. Didn't really get a chance to make anything or really do much other than my base sort of painting work that I kind of have to do every day to keep up my schedule. So it's kind of annoying. Sorry about that. I was having a bit of a breathing thing there. But no, my current sort of focus with the channel is just kind of covering what I'm working on and sort of armies I've done. And I just want to thank everyone who's been watching for watching it, even if it's kind of mediocre. I know, I'm trying to improve the content, but some weeks I don't have the time to really do much other than this. And granted, I'm saying this after I've only done 5 videos, which includes this one. So it probably sounds like I hate myself or something, but I'm making it clear that I am trying to, make better content, but I need to have a better week before I can do better content. I do apologize about the lack of genuinely interesting stuff. I know my army showcases can probably be kind of because if you're not really interested in that army or that like period of the game, then it's not really interesting. But I've got a lot of stuff to use for showcases, and I do want to at some point maybe do some battle reports, though that may vary. It depends on what's going on in the future. But currently I'm enjoying making these little showcases and progress updates. So next week I'll probably make a longer, more interesting video, maybe do a progress update on everything I'm working on this month. And then obviously at the end of the month, whatever's finished will be in the May progress log. Is it May? Yeah, April, May, yeah. In the May progress log. So it'll be hopefully some more interesting content as the weeks go by. But thank you for watching, and please subscribe and like. And let me know what your current projects are, what things you're interested in potentially doing. And I hate that I'm going to say this, but let me know what you think of the new edition. I personally couldn't care less, because I primarily only play the older editions now, but I do like the new orc models. They look lovely, and I'm definitely going to be adding them to my army. Thanks for watching.